Called up with a former NBA player and current podcaster Gilbert Arenas earlier today. It was a really interesting interview. Take a look. Our Gilbert Arenas, host of the No Chill podcast, longtime NBA player, multi-time All-Star. I love having you on the show. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Love the podcast. Really authentic, really candid, right? Like, as you would expect. And one of the things that struck me, I was actually listening to this in the car, and I'm no NBA player, but it just struck me for the rest of us in real life. You gave Josh Hart some, thought, really interesting advice about what he needs to do in terms of whether he should or should not adjust the basketball player he is to whatever his coaches want him to do. For folks who missed it on the No Chill podcast, can you tell us sort of what his dilemma was and the advice you gave him? Because I thought it was great.
You know, when we have this idea as players and just people, period, that we need to adjust and conform to fit better, which if that's not your natural talent, you won't be good at adjusting. You know, you're really doing something that you're not really comfortable with or you're not really skilled at. So it's like a great boss or a great coach will understand that, okay, I'm going to let you do what you do, and then I'm going to adjust to you so I can bring out the best talent in what you're skilled at.
You know, we just got done talking about Steve Kerr, and just as a coach and a former player, the run he's on. How much of his success in Golden State do you think is less about Steve Kerr, the genius, and more Steve Kerr letting Steph Curry, letting Draymond Green, finding a way to let these guys actually be who they were supposed to be on the floor?
It's more of him as a people's coach, a player's coach is what we call them. And this is why I always am a big believer in, if you've never played the game at a high level, it's really hard to be successful as a coach unless you're a great people person, because at the end of the day, every player, every person is different. So if you can't adapt to different personalities, it would be hard to be a coach in any sport. Like, this is not the 80s where you just get to beat up on players over and over, because everyone doesn't react the same. So you have to be able to get the best out of each player. So you have to know their personalities.
All right, so we've got Andre Iguodala saying Steph Curry's the second best player of all time. Obviously, Steph's playing really well with Kevin Durant injured. For you, and his career is ongoing, it's obviously still unfolding, but what's the proper way to regard Steph Curry relative to, or not, the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, whatever that list is of some of the greats of all time?
You know, I remember when I said on my it wasn't my podcast. It was the TV show Out of Bounds that I was on. And I said, you know, Steph Curry isn't a top 5 point guard. And everyone freaked out. And I was like, no, like, you have to understand what a point guard is and a guard is. And I said, you know, he's a top 3 player in the NBA. He's not a top 5 point guard. It's what he does on the floor compared to a Steve Nash, a Magic Johnson, a John Stockton. They're different. So it's unfair to both categories to say, all right, we're going to take his scoring stats and put him against his assist stats. And no, he's a guard. You have to put them all as guards. And as a guard, I think he's top 4 or 5 guards of all time.
Yeah, I mean, that is big time praise. I want to ask you about the Lakers a little bit. In a second, I want to get to LeBron and his sort of off court. I mean, LeBron James, and I'm not sure people realize, let's just start there. The dude is a renaissance man. He's involved in social justice issues. He's got a very successful media production conglomerate. I mean, the guy, he's an entrepreneur who's invested in pizza shops that make a bunch of money. How do you think LeBron has changed the view of the NBA player, not just on the floor, but beyond what goes on over the course of a basketball game or a basketball season or a basketball career?
You know, he's this generation's Michael Jordan. When you talk about off the court stuff, When you think about Jordan back in the 80s and the 90s, wearing the suits, being the class act. I mean, he was teaching athletes how to be professional. We didn't really see Michael Jordan dibble and dabble until the outside world until later on when he was done or he was out of the NBA. Then it's like, oh, Michael Jordan has a race car company. Like, oh, okay, that's different. So to really see like an active athlete, especially as a basketball player, to be a businessman also while he's playing, makes you more than an athlete. It's like, I can dibble and dabble and still be a great player. I don't have to wait till I'm done to do this.
LeBron, and I don't think people paid attention to this, but had a great season this year when he wasn't hurt. But you're in Southern California. I'm in Southern California. We know, the whole world knows, the Lakers are an absolute hot mess right now. And I like Magic Johnson as a guy, and I like Jeannie Buss a lot as a person. I won't pretend to know Rob Pelinka, but just from your vantage point as a guy who's here, who played the game at a high level, who knows a lot of people around the NBA, what do you think the status and the future of the Lakers really, where do you think those things really stand right now?
As the organization, just from the outside looking in, I think too many people want to take credit for everything. It's like everyone wants to claim, the power of all the moves that's going to be made, but no one wants to take the fall. So I think too many people want credit for LeBron coming, for the future, but if it fails, nobody wants to take credit for it. So it's like, if everyone just get in their rightful place, the boat will actually move better through the sea. It is the Lakers. You have LeBron. I hear Stephen A. Smith and all of them talk about nobody wants to play with LeBron. That's bull. It's if you want a championship, you want to play with LeBron. That's damn near a given. So players do want to play with LeBron. Players want to be in LA, but it's one of those things where make it appealing. Make it look appealing. Don't make it look like a show.
How likely do you think it is that Kyrie Irving, a Kawhi Leonard, a Kemba Walker, a highly, maybe not Kyrie or Kawhi, but a highly coveted max free agent is going to choose to come and play in LA this season, this summer, when free agency hits? How likely?
I mean, there's a lot of floating pieces. You got Klay Thompson, which would be ideal for LeBron. I don't think Klay leaves. Kevin Durant going to New York, doubt it. I mean, you're talking about a guy by 27 had 4 scoring titles, 1 MVP, 2 All-Star MVPs, 2 gold medals, 8 All-NBA, 8 All-Stars. He was a Hall of Famer by 27, so the only thing that was left was a championship and MVP, of the finals. So he basically cleared everything by the age of 28. So he will only go to a place where he's going to win a championship that year. So I don't really see him going back east. It'll either be with LeBron or stay put. From there, you have Jimmy Butler, which would be great for LeBron, Tobias Harris, Kawhi. I don't see Kawhi coming. I think Kawhi wants to stand alone. But at the end of the day, Kawhi is never, every place he's been, it's been a winning organization. So, Raptors won 50-something games last year, so he went to the #1 team in the East. Kyrie, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to drive the boat by himself anymore, so he probably will be ideal. Kemba Walker would be an amazing piece. I don't think LA will like what they have to pay him, but he will be great. So if you can get Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker, and probably somebody like Tobias, I'm confident in that team. That is a great team with LeBron because he's gonna get the best out of those 3 players.
Yeah, no doubt. I love Kemba Walker. Gilbert, last question for you. The Eastern Conference Finals are now a best of 3. The series returns to Milwaukee tonight after Toronto beat up on the Bucks at home for Toronto. Who do you like tonight? Who do you like advancing to play the Warriors in the NBA Finals?
I'm just going to be honest. I don't even pay attention to the Eastern Conference. You know, they don't have enough horses. Like, everyone can throw every analytic that they want, that, you know, if Bucks make it, you know, they're long, they got 2 defensive players. Like, that's bull. Like, if you take KD off, you have Curry, who's averaging 36, Klay Thompson, who's averaging about 27 since KD's gone, Draymond, a damn near triple-double. If you take Greek off that team, there's no one capable of averaging 25 for a series. So why would you expect this team to actually compete against the Warriors, who actually have 3 Hall of Famers ready? Like, that's how lopsided this championship is. Like, they're not better without KD. They just don't need him for this series because there's no threat. Like, there's no LeBron, Kyrie, and Love going against them. You have Greek the Freak, who, if they slow down that series with Golden State, it hurts Greek the Freak and Bledsoe because they can't shoot from the outside. You speed it up, it favors Golden State. So you're at a disadvantage no matter how that looks. With Toronto, you have Kawhi, and then a bunch of role players. That doesn't get it done against stars. It doesn't get it done against stars. Like, Golden State has legit players. Like, you have one player in the playoffs right now who's capable of scoring 60. That's Klay Thompson, and he can do that in 30-something minutes. You have Curry, who's capable of scoring 50, but because he's the point guard, it takes more energy. On the other side, Greek the Freak, if he scores 50, he took a beating for that 50 because it's all to the basket. You know, with Kawhi, if he scores 50, he cuts out the rest of the team. So they just don't have enough horses to compete with Golden State this year. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not even gonna give you hope to say Bucks or Toronto can beat them. I mean, maybe if they combined as a group, yeah, they probably have a chance. But no, there's no chance in hell that any of those teams actually beat Golden State this year.
This is a perfect insight into the No Chill podcast. It is funny, it is smart, and it does not hold back. Gilbert Arenas will not lie to you, and I love that you didn't lie to us here on the show. Thanks, dude. Thanks for the candor. Thanks for the time. Really enjoyed the conversation.
All right, thank you for having me.